Hey guys, welcome to Mikey Yourself. Today's video we're going to intro my 2017 Ram 1500. This is the V8 with the 5.7 liter engine in it, the Hemi engine in it. It's a beast, and of course it drinks a lot of gas. It's got a drinking problem, but I still love her. I've done a couple of mods to this already, so I wanted to go over those today in this intro video and give you the opportunity, if any of the mods that I've already done to this bring you or you have any interest in knowing more about it or watching a walkthrough, comment below, let me know. I'd be more than happy to cover any one of these particular items, just because if you're like me, you use YouTube as a way to determine whether or not you want to make a purchase for your truck. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start our way in the front and work our way to the back. So in the front here, you can tell I've replaced my grille. I went with this 3 amber light grille. It looks kind of similar to the F-150 Raptor. Of course, all the noisy vehicles are out right now. But I went with that. I think it's a cool look. I like it, so I wanted to put it on my truck. And behind that, you can see there's a light bar there. And actually, that's going to be the feature of my next truck video, because I'm going to replace that little guy with a little bit bigger amber colored deal. My problem with this one was, or is, that it also has a daytime running light function to it. And maybe it's just the way I wired it up or whatever, but what I don't like is I have it on a switch, and in order to activate the actual LEDs themselves for the spotlight is you got to turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, and then you're good. So the problem is the first time you turn it on, it gives you that DRL and it's like little halos, and then you turn it off, and when you reapply power, that's when it gives you the spotlight. There's only 2 wires to it, so it's not like you can separate or omit that, so you can kind of see that in there. And when I did install this, I didn't have any wire loom, so of course I've got some exposed wires, and I'm going to fix that in that video as well. I replaced the front headlights with these blacked out clear lens lights. I like them, they're pretty cool, although I think I want to switch these out to match my LED fog lights that I bought afterwards. And these were direct replacements, so they bolt right in. You don't have to do any modification, and you know, you can either turn them on and you got the bright light, and there's a separate wire for kind of that trim illumination. Looks like an L there. And they look really cool. So they sell headlights that match that also have that trim illumination. I think I'm going to go with those. I just haven't really determined if that's the next thing I want to do or what, but since I've got my mind on this LED light bar, I'm going to go ahead and do that first. It bugs me the most. The other thing I did is I added in I think it's a 2-inch leveling kit to really level this out. I don't really care for the nose down look on my truck, so I added that in. And for this one, it's basically a giant rubber spacer that you put on top of the shock, and see if I can get in there. You really can't see it because it's in that cup, but you replace that and that gives you the space in between. Now I'll tell you, that was not a fun job to do. You have to compress the spring and get it out of there in order to put that cup on top and then reinstall it. And if you do decide to do it, I don't recommend using the spring compressors that grab on the outside of the truck, but rather from, or outside of the spring, but rather from the inside. So it's like a single jack screw, and it's got hooks that kind of look like McDonald arches that come out, and it grabs the sides of the spring, and you compress it from the center. It gives it a little bit more, I think, even grab, and you only have 1 bolt to tighten. You don't have to keep flipping and flopping to make it even. So to me, it was just a better deal. I went with a simple little dice valve stem cover just for fun, and I swapped out tires to some Firestone Destination all-terrains. I'm going to be swapping out these wheels. I like the 20-inch look. That's cool. The tires are expensive, and it limits to me the look when you want to kind of 4x it out. Again, I think there's 2 kinds of people with the off-road tires. There's those folks that like to have the big wheel with the mud terrain on or whatever, and that's a very cool look. I like that. And then there's people who like to see more tire, and I'm one of those more tire kind of guys. I like them tall. and just more tires. So I'm going to go to a 17-inch rim on that, and then probably throw on some 285 70 17 all-terrains on there just to give it that look. So let's go ahead and we'll jump over to the back end of the truck. So on the back of the truck, got a couple of upgrades here. So one you really can't see is I went with an aftermarket Flowmaster exhaust. I went with I think it's called the American Thunder. So there was 3 options. American Thunder was like the middle option when it came to the sound, and it sounds amazing. If you're looking for that nice grumble but not obnoxiously loud, that's the one to go for. It was a perfect choice. I love it. So I got that installed. Also went with the soft cover True Export tonneau. I really like this cover because I can roll it up and still have full use of my bed. I think the back flips look really cool, but from the ones I saw, they kind of stand up and block your review or out your back window. So I didn't really care for that. And then the other thing, the other type of cover was the one that spools up on like in a box that sits in the back. And the only downside to that is you lose some of your space with it retracted. So for me, at least, this was the best option. So it's nice. Like I said, it just rolls up. It's got a subframe in there. It's not like completely soft and just stretched out. It's not the kind with buttons. So it's got a Velcro on the side, and then you just pop it out, and I'll show you that here in a minute. The other thing I did is I added in the infamous LED bar there. So that's got your stop, reverse, and blinkers on it. I just like how it looked. I mean, to me, they're kind of cool. They have all kinds of different versions. Mine's kind of like a double row of LEDs. They've got 4 rows, and it all depends on what floats your boat. So it's great. I like it. Just looks cool to me. The other thing I put in is tailgate shock. So the tailgate shock, if you've ever had an older truck, you open up your tailgate and that thing just slams down, bam, right? Thing weighs a ton. With the newer trucks, you can choose to go ahead and just let it go down nice and slow. So it's a single shock in the kit. I think it's 20 bucks, so it's really cheap. You get this little bracket here that you bolt on underneath this that mount there, and then you screw in the bottom one. You pop this thing on and you're done. It's like a 30-minute job. And what's nice is it slowly lets your tailgate down. It doesn't slam. Not that slamming it really probably does much damage because you got your cables that are preventing it, but if you had your cables off, that would be a different story. Inside the bed of the truck, it's kind of messy. I got all my stuff in here, but if you look, I've got LEDs posted up inside the bed, and these have been great. I could have absolutely done a better job in installation. In fact, I'm going to replace these, but I'll tell you, my folks live out in an area where it's in a rural area, so there's no street lights, and when I'm unloading the truck at night, it's a blessing to have these because it illuminates the entire bed very clearly. You don't have to use a flashlight or anything like that. But one of the mods I want to do is add in a trigger switch, so as you open up your tailgate, it'll turn them on, and then also add in a toggle switch that will allow you to turn them off. So, you know, if it's the daytime like this, I don't need them, and if I open up my tailgate and go play with the RC cars or whatever, I don't want them to just sit there and stay on, so I can toggle them off, and then if I forget to turn them back on, I can fix that as I open the tailgate, notice it doesn't turn on, then I can just flip the switch. So that'll be another future modification on this. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and move into the interior of the truck, where I've got a couple of really cool things for you to check out. Alright guys, on the inside of the truck, because this is the Longhorn, of course, it's got the bigger screen. I've seen they've got a really cool like Tesla style screen that you can get with this, and everything becomes digital. It's priced at about 700 bucks on eBay. I've seen some videos, look really cool. I don't know, I'm kind of debating if I want to do that or not. I've been on the fence on that one for a little bit, so I don't know, maybe I'll wait until prices come down or something. Probably not going to happen, not sure. But on the inside, one of the upgrades I did is I added in the pedal commander. So this is a pretty simple device. It plugs in to your gas pedal, and then there's a Y connector, so where the gas pedal, the plug that was coming into your gas pedal, that gets plugged into one side of the pedal commander, and then the pedal commander plugs into your gas pedal. It's a pretty simple concept. These trucks, and I guess all newer vehicles, have some lag built into the computer system, so as you press your gas pedal down, it registers a percentage, and what it does is I think it kind of dogs that percentage. So what the folks at Pedal Commander did is they compensated for that. So now as you press down your gas pedal, depending on what setting you choose, it'll make up the difference. So it sends a different signal to the computer. So instead of stepping on your pedal and getting that 5-second lag before it registers how far you've pressed on your pedal, this will remove that, and it gives you the presence of power, but the power is already there, so it's not increasing your horsepower in any way, shape, or form. It's not a tuner, so it doesn't void your warranty, so you can just take it in and out as you want. All it does is compensate for that lag. So if you put this thing on the Sport Plus setting number +4, you'll smoke your tires, man. It's awesome. I've seen guys on YouTube videos with like 35s, and they're lighting them up. So it's pretty damn cool. I recommend it. I can go more into a video if y'all would like to see that. The other thing I bought is this Bluetooth programmer. So I have that there, and you have to buy a third-party app, and the name of the app is slipping my mind at this moment, but you get that in, and what that allows you to do is you can make all of the changes that you would typically have to take your truck to the dealership for. You can do them yourself. Now, it's not a simple interface, right? What I mean by that is there's kind of like almost like a modification log, and you have to download the first one, so that way you can recall what your standard setting is, and then they recommend that you kind of keep in mind all the stuff that you do. So if you have to back it out, you could. Wait for this thing to go by here. Be safe, guys. So this is worth its weight in gold, man, because what you can do is if you install LED turn signals, you can, instead of having to put in resistors, you can tell your computer, hey, I've got LED turn signals, and it adjusts the power for it, so that way you don't get that fast blink going on. If you want to activate daytime running lights, you can do that too. So I recommend getting this. There's a couple of videos, and there's I forget, there's a Dodge guy that does some really good videos on many different settings. He shows you how to trigger if you want your windows to roll down automatically, all kinds of stuff. So if you're interested in that, I can go over what the app is, what this particular device is, and also link the guy that I followed who did these modifications to his truck. The other thing I did, and sorry for the sunlight, let me see if I can get that sunlight out of your way there, is a camera. So this one's forward facing and rear facing. I've got the rear one in the back window. I actually have it attached to the that middle head brace, and I created a little mount for it, and that's pointing out the back. I haven't had to use that video for anything yet, but it's again one of those investments that's really good to have, whether it's because somebody hit you, or because you're catching a license plate for somebody else that maybe it was a hit and run or something like that. So definitely worthwhile. I'm gonna put a shade up here real quick. All right, so we're out of the front and into the back cab, and another mod that I did was added in DVD players for the headrests, and these are all one unit, right? So you just buy replacement headrests, and they come with the DVD players built into them. You can install them pretty quickly. You do have to run power to them. They transmit the audio through FM signal, so they have built-in kind of transmitter to it. Or you can get IR headphones, which are really nice because you can listen to your radio while the kids are watching movies or DVDs in the back. They have external, or they have some additional ports here for USB, HDMI, SD cards, all that kind of jazz. And what's cool about that is you can, if you have your DVDs or whatever on a hard drive or a thumb drive or whatever, you can just plug that in, and it gives them more than just the simple DVD disc, which you can just access by doing that. So if you're interested in that, I can cover that a little bit more. Then we have the sound system. So on the Rams, they come with additional storage underneath the seat, and what I did is took out, there's like a little platform that comes with these, and I took that out and bought one of these aftermarket molded speaker boxes and put 212s back here. These are Scar Audio, which, I mean, they're not bad. They're not top of the line either. And it's being powered by a Rockford Fosgate single channel amp there, because all they're used for is for bass. It's not obnoxious loud bass where you hear the doors rattle. It's just a good thump, so as you listen to your tunes, you feel it. It's like being in concert. I've also got this LC2 by Audio Control, and what this is, you know, it was new for me. If you're using a stock head unit and you're capturing your sound from one of the regular speaker wires, that signal, and one of the auto files could probably tell you better than I can, that signal is not clean or appropriate for feeding into an amp. So this processes that signal, optimizes it for your amp just for better sound. And then to help with the amp draw, I've got a small capacitor here that I mounted, and that just kind of helps power, because when I first put this in with the 212s, if I pushed it hard enough, you'd see the headlights dim, and I did replace the headlights with some LED headlights, pretty generic ones that I got off of Amazon, nothing special, relatively cheap, but well worth it. So if you're contemplating whether or not you want to get just like the bright whites or whatever, versus LED headlights all the way. You can get them pretty cheap, like 25 bucks, 30 bucks. I wouldn't waste time getting like super expensive ones, unless that's your jam, right? Like, that's up to you. But if you had to replace them at 25 bucks a pop, that's not bad. All of the door speakers and the dash speakers have been replaced with Kicker Comp, or I don't know if they call them Kicker Comp anymore, but Kicker audio speakers that I purchased through Crutchfield. Crutchfield has a very cool tool where you plug in your vehicle, and it'll specify, depending on what input you give it, so you can tell it, like, hey, I'm going to use the stock head unit. Then it says you should use these speakers to optimize your sound, and it's right on, man. I've done a lot of stereo installs on vehicles and have gotten nowhere near the quality of output as I've gotten with this setup. So in the back are the 6x9s. In the front, those are, I believe, 6-inch with a tweeter, like a separate tweeter, a component speaker. There you go. God. And it came actually with mounting brackets, so that way you can mount that tweeter in it. And I don't know if I can show you that. You can see it there. And then, of course, the dash speakers are pretty simple, straightforward. I think they're 3.5-inch there. And unfortunately, because the sun's blaring right into the windshield here, I won't be able to show you. But all in all, those are the things that I've done to this truck. Like I said, I've got a couple of other mods I want to do, or that I have in mind, and you know, I'm looking forward to sharing those with you. Again, if you have any interest in any one of these you know, mods, if it's a simple question, I'm happy to just answer the question. But if you'd like to see more of a video on it, particularly maybe a review almost of the product, like the pedal commander, you want to see me, you know, peel out because I put it in the Sport Plus, whatever, let me know. I'm more than happy to do that. I'll just have to find an area to tear it up, because I am in the city. And yeah. Anyhow, I hope you liked the video. I'm looking forward to your input, and if you like the content, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. If you like the content, consider subscribing to my channel. It costs you nothing. I produce every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and if you don't want to miss that next video, hit the notification bell. It'll ping you as soon as I post. And until then, I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.